Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Inside of a Walnut. I'm your host, Dr. Cliffhanger. Now, in my previous videos, I've mentioned quite frequently that I recently graduated from high school. And I thought, for all of my mentioning of it, I might as well talk about the actual process of how that experience went. And oh boy, I have no good things to say about it. It was only bad. So bad, in fact, that when I wrote down like my complaints in the script for this video, I realized it was too long. So I'm actually splitting this into two videos: the preparation to get to the ceremony, and then the actual ceremony. So, uh, if you should know already, to graduate from high school, you need a few things, such as school credits. You need to have passed all of the classes during your high school career, and then from there, you also need to confirm that you haven't committed any violations, you don't have any outstanding fines to pay the school. In my school, since it was pretty large, rather than going through and checking every student personally themselves, they would have every student go through a type of self confirmation process the day before the ceremony. And oh boy, was it not a good experience. So, I wake up in the morning and I know that the time in which you can do it is from 8 to 12. If it gets to 12 and you haven't done it, sucks to be you, you won't graduate. So I decide to arrive at 9 because I figure if I go at 8, everyone's going to go at 8. So the line will be enormous because there's like over 1,000 of us trying to graduate. So I'm just not going to make it. So I go at 9, and to my surprise, my theory was completely wrong. The line was so long that it not only did it go outside of the school, it went all the way to the tennis courts. Which, for a bit of clarification there, tennis court is around like maybe 120, 140 feet away from the entrance to the school. And I'm looking at like that, like, heck no, that's really far away from the actual like place where I need to be. It's a really long line. Then I'm looking at the time. It's like, okay, if this line doesn't get shorter, I don't think I'll actually make it in time. So I decide I'll just sit in the line. Stand, really. Obviously, there weren't chairs. So I get in the line and I'm probably waiting there for it takes like a good 30, 40 minutes, maybe an hour to get inside, where I see they basically transform the entire front hall of the school into like airport security. Because when I got there, it was this long line that went all squiggly, weaving us into this hallway, and there were three separate checkpoints we had to complete. The first one, obviously clearing your credits, second one, clearing your fines, and the third one actually saying, hey, you did it, you can graduate now. Good job. So I go through the line. I'm probably waiting a really long time. By the time I get to the place where they check that I have all the credits I need to graduate, it's probably at that point, I want to say like 10:40, 10:45. Like I've been sitting in line a while. It definitely sucked. So I get there and I go through the line. I wait some more. At this point, it's around 11 when they tell me you have a fine when I get to the second checkpoint. I'm like, I do? Oh, I shouldn't, because I made sure to check my email, check anywhere they could have sent me things. I am like 99% sure I received no notification, no indication at all that I had a fine to pay. So obviously, I didn't bring money. So I go to where the fines are paying and said, "Hey, didn't know this was happening, didn't receive notification. I don't have money on me. My money's in the car." The only statement she had for me was, "Well, you better go get that." I'm like, I'm looking at the clock. It's like 11:05, 11:10. I'm like, there's like 50 minutes for me to get to the third checkpoint so that I can graduate. Like the line is clearing out. This is a problem. So I like basically book it to trying to get my car back in time so I can graduate, because apparently I held a book for a week too long and they didn't feel like telling me about it. The most annoying part about that is that since the school is large, there were too many. I couldn't like park at the school's parking lot. I had to park at a football stadium that is roughly like a 15-minute walk away from the school. So I walk for 15 minutes to get to the car, rummage through my things to hopefully find enough money for what they need, and then run back. By the time I get back, get through this long line and can tell the people there that I don't need to go through this. I already did this. I just need to get to the fines. By that time, it's like 11:40. I'm not having a good time. So I get to the final day and I'm like praying. I'm like, okay, how much do I need to give you? And I kid you not, the words she had for me were, how much cash do you have? Excuse me? That's not what that means. When I say how much the fine is, you tell me how much money you have deceived me into giving you, not how much money do I have. That's not the appropriate response to what I said. But I didn't have time to argue. So I just said, I have like $25. He says, yeah, that'll work. She said, what? Yeah, that'll work. So, and I was too impatient. I didn't feel like arguing. I gave her $25, got clarification, and I run to the third line where apparently this is the part where they actually figured out a way that they can make lines go faster when they split that into 3 sections based off of alphabetical orientation. So you have this guy basically yelling the alphabetical orientation, but apparently, because I'm a fool, I went through the wrong line anyway. So I had to do that again. And I checked the time. By the time I got to the third checkpoint and got the ticket clarification that I'm allowed to graduate, it was like 11:58. I had barely made it. And I'm like, I got there at 9. And I barely made it. Granted, I had a lot of the fine circumstance wasted a lot of my time, especially since I had to park so far away and I didn't know how to find. So obviously, I didn't bring money with me. If I did, I probably would have gone out of there at like maybe 11:20. But now I'm feeling bad. What if someone with my same circumstance came at 11, because the handout says you can come from 11, or you can come from 8 to 12, sorry. So what if I didn't come at like one of the earliest times that I could go? Like, I'm curious, is there anyone that legitimately didn't graduate because they didn't make it in time? That would suck. So yeah, I went through this entire freaking ordeal to go to a graduation ceremony. And oh God, is that ceremony ever the story to talk about? Next time on the inside of a walnut. Bye.